going on, guys? So today I'm going to install an airlift system for my pickup. I have a 2016 Silverado. I bought an airlift, the Load Lifter 5000, just air springs. This will help me a lot once I get a new trailer here for racing. It's going to be a lot heavier and it's going to put a lot of tongue weight on this truck. And then I'm also going to have a mule in the bed of this, so I need to help it out a little bit. So I'm going to get this thing unboxed and we'll go from there. So I've got everything all unboxed. You have your 2 lift bags, which are actually a lot smaller than you'd think. You have your bracket mounts that actually will mount to the frame and to the axle. You have your bag cups, I'm going to call them, instructions, all your nuts and bolts that you need, and your airlines. Because this one's set up just to be remote. You just put an air hose to it and pump it up. I do not have an onboard air supply. That's something for the future maybe, but so let's get underneath the truck and start taking some parts off and get this thing on. So to install this kit, there's a few things you have to do underneath that you need to remove or move. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this bump stop out of here. This gets removed entirely. We are going to take this bolt out that holds our parking brake cable. This little bracket gets thrown away, and they have a replacement bracket that they give you to move this up and out of the way of the bags. Then up here we need to undo this electrical cable and these hard lines right here, so we can get our new brackets to come down through. They give you all new mounting stuff for everything you have to move. The last thing you have to move is your ABS. You have your ABS sensor lines right here. It'll come undone from here, and undone from down here. And they have some new relocation stuff that you'll put on here. And then we can get this going. So I'm gonna take all that off and show you guys where we're at. So I have all my ABS lines undone. I have the parking brake cable undone with the bolt out. I was going to start putting the other brackets on, but I just can't live with putting these nice new parts on that. So I'm gonna run to Lowe's and get some spray paint and some different things and some wire brush and clean this up and paint this area for now. And then after I'm done with all this, I'll go through and go under the whole truck and clean it all up. But short little intermission. So once you have the underside all taken care of, next thing you want to do is you want to pre-assemble your bag assembly. So you're going to put all your mounts on. Don't forget your cup spacers here. That way if the bag ever comes down, it won't catch anything. It'll sit on this. Make sure you assemble all this. It does have torque specs. If you look on the top of the bag, or on the bottom actually, it actually has all your information. 20 foot-pounds, you need to torque these bolts to, and you never inflate these over 100 psi. They're a really nice bag. Just maybe whenever you assemble this, use Loctite. Your air fitting, it already comes with thread sealant on it, so you don't have to add that. And then there's a couple things you need to watch for. Obviously these only go on one way. On your other side, they actually have, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it, they have an arrow on it. You want the arrow to point away from the air fitting, so that way it'll work on the side. So now I have this one assembled, I'm going to assemble the other one. We'll get back underneath the truck and get it all on. So I've got one airbag in. It's pretty simple. There's a hole right there that actually came from the ABS line, where you add a new clamp on that you put a bolt through. There's a U-bolt that goes up front up there, and then there's these little tabs that you use down here with a bolt that goes through it, and it just grabs this where the bump used to hit. Now whenever you put these on, it's important that you remember to look and put your airline fitting in. That way you can actually get to the airlines. So I'm going to go ahead, start on the other one. I'll show you guys how exactly this all goes up in here. So the way that this works best for me, I found, was to put the bag on this lower pad. Then you take your supplied little U you have here, get your long bolts, take it, bolt in, and this longer tab hits against the tab that's on the airbag. The smaller one goes inside this pocket where the bump stop used to hit. So make sure you have your orientation right. Set it in there. Probably can't see anything because of the shock. Get your washer, your nut. Screw it on there. So I'll give you guys a little better look. So you can see the long end goes out, and once you get both ends on, it sits up in there like that. So that short piece goes in there, and once you tighten it, it holds it against here. So I'm gonna get this side on now. So on this side, to get this bracket in, I actually had to grab this hard brake line right here and pull it down a little bit so I can get the proper clearance I need to get this in here. So now I have this in here. I'm going to snug them up just a little bit. I don't want to tighten them all the way. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the axle so we can get these upper mounts on. So the reason you don't want to tighten these all the way is that you can grab this and move it around and center it as you need to once you bring the axle up, and you can get the U-bolt on and get this bolt in. Once you have that all tightened up, then come back and tighten these. I feel that's the best way to do this. The way that they say to do it is to do the top and then the bottom, but then you're just wrestling with holding this up. So this is my preferred way. So I'm gonna get this axle lifted up. We'll get the U-bolt on and get this back bolt in. I'll show you guys all that. So now that you have it jacked up, I jack it up not quite till it's touching, but real close. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this U-bolt, set it up over top of the frame, let it slide down over it, and got it into the holes. Then put the nuts on this, not tighten them all the way. Just get them on enough that I know it's not going to fall away. And then we're going to do this bolt back here that you put in through this hole, and it'll come down through the center hole here. And they give this really cool little piece of wire. So if your bolt, and then they have this piece of wire that they actually supply in the kit. It's all strung around it. You literally screw it into the wire like that. You put the other end of the wire in here, find the hole, feed it down through the hole, And once it's through, you grab the other end, pull it through. You gotta kind of finesse this washer through the hole. Make sure you put your washer on before you do this too. Then just kind of use your finger and help push it down in through the hole. Once you have it down in the hole, you can unthread the wire off of it. And there you go. Now I'm going to unthread the wire off the bolt. So now that we're there, we're going to go back underneath and I'm going to show you guys where all these other little brackets, and we're going to get some nuts and bolts on this thing. Get this side finished up. So in this kit, they give you these really nice wire / tubing holders. They have rubber on them, so they're not going to cut any of your lines. What you're going to do is you're going to reach up your ABS line, and where you took it off, you're going to slap this thing over it. You might have to open it up a little bit to do so. Put it on there, squeeze it back shut, and what you'll do, I put it on backwards. Put it back on the other way. Let's try that again. Put it on there, squeeze it shut, then just feed that up onto the bolt. Then I find if I put a finger in through that hole we used before on the side of the frame, push down on that bolt. Got this thing out of alignment here. That's better. Push it up on. Washer on. Take your nut. Put your nut on. And there you go. Now the way I had to do this before, I had to use a breaker bar with a socket on it to hold the nut up top, because I could not fit a ratchet in top there. So I'm gonna use my breaker bar, put the socket on it. Once I find it again, jump. Home. So there is a hole on both sides of the frame. I put my finger through the other side so I can feel the top of it. That way I know I get socket on. Which, there we go. Slipped off. No, it came off. You do that until it's tight, and then make sure you get the front tight, and then tighten everything down below. So now I have both bags in. I went through, made sure I have both my U-bolts tight, both the nuts on the U-bolts on both sides, tighten up the bottom ones. The only thing you have left to do, you gotta add your airlines. Now you have a couple different options with where do you want to put them. A lot of people, you know, they just drill 2 holes right here next to their plate. They just have their 2 Schrader valves right here. I'm sorry. They have their 2 Schrader valves here. Some people put them in the wheel wells. Other people get a little creative and make custom little mounts and stuff. You know, they'll put them in here, and they'll put, you know, if there's 2 Schrader valves here or into their wheel liner. What I think I'm gonna try to do is I'm actually gonna try to put mine in the gas cap here, so that way they're just nice and clean out of the way. Something that you don't have to worry about hitting or anything. So we'll see what I can do here. I gotta see how much line's actually provided with this kit, and I'll show you guys how to do it. So both bags are in, and I have my Airlines hooked up right now. I have them run right now where they loop up, come around, they run right down the back of the frame, and I put my Schrader valves, replaced my bolts from my license plate. Just pull your little cap off, add air to it. That way I didn't drill any holes anywhere. I still have a nice sleek look, and honestly, standing here looking at it with them caps on, you don't even know it's there. So I'm gonna get it down, put some air in it, make sure it's not leaking anywhere. And then I have a test we're gonna do on it to see how they work. So it's the next day. Helper bags are all done. I have about 10 pounds of pressure in them, that's all. And I have this big trailer, 8.5 by 24 attached to it. And you can see the truck's still sitting completely level. Went around the road with it a little bit. It is nice and level. The truck drives nice. That's the whole point of these bags. And even without the trailer, it actually made the truck ride a little bit nicer, which I was not expecting. These bags, I would highly suggest them for anyone looking to do something like this. They do help a lot, so don't be afraid to look them up. Give them a try. I think they're worth every penny that they are. They're only like 330 bucks, I think, on Summit for this particular bag set, and I'm happy with them. I'll later on down the road in some other videos, maybe I'll talk about it a little bit more once I start doing some real driving. Another trip to Ohio, and I think I'm gonna do one to South Carolina this year. And I'll kind of give you updates on them and any improvements I do maybe. But for now, that's it. So please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.